Well, we are back for our third installment. This is on the development of our friendship and what I call the discovery moment when we really realized it was something there more than friendship, and we had some feelings for each other that was just like very new to us, and we kind of made that known to each other, and will kind of lead us up to where we are now. So. I'll, where she left off for the last segment was we were having these little short conversations after our small group, and we had to clean up the room we were in, so she would help out and we'd talk a little bit. And I remember the very first time I made her laugh, I said, okay, I can make this girl laugh, because I like to make people laugh. So, and she had a sense of humor, so we would just sit there and talk, and I'll say like 10, 15 minutes after the group, and then she would go pick her son up downstairs from the youth group, and I'd get my son and go home. So, but then I would see her sometimes at church on Sunday morning. At that time we had about 2 services before we went to our 3-service format. And I'd wave to her and she'd wave back, because we'd be seeing each other in between services. So, and managed about a 2-minute conversation in between services, something like that. But the bulk of our conversation, I'd say for the first 3 months of our small group, were really after small group. And we had people around too, us talking, but we got to know each other a little bit better. You know, I started seeing a different side of her. You know, she wasn't as, bad as I originally thought. But I was still a little reserved. I'm honest. I'm honest though. I thought she had an attitude still. But I say between, the end of January, February, March, right before our youth conference of 2014, we just had our conversations, and she would email me stuff like, how you doing? How's things going? Stuff like that. We have very brief email conversations back and forth. Nothing, just like getting to know each other kind of stuff. And we just kind of did it naturally. And let me take a pause and say this to everybody out here. You do not have to go on a date or date someone to get to know them on a personal level. That is true. Because we did this thing strictly through church. Mm-hmm. After church conversations, before church, small group. Mm-hmm. We didn't go on one date. And we'll get to when we went on our first date. It was way down the road.
Yep.
And before I turn it over to her, I'll just say this: that the moment that I knew something was different about her was on this day a year ago when I was serving at our youth conference. We had our very first one-on-one outside the group conversation for 2.5 hours outside on a cool, brisk fall morning. Yeah. And I'm going to let her take it from here.
Well, for 2.5 hours, of course, Anyway, but but like I said, I couldn't stand him. He got him. I thought he was pompous. I was like, who is this pompous guy?
Country boy like me.
He acted like he all that and all this stuff. I got it, and I this and I that. And I'm just looking at him like, okay. And so time went on, and I kept forcing myself to talk to him and so forth, because again, he was normal. So even though he was pompous, but pompous normal. So
I'm pompous.
That was pompous.
No, I thought he was. I was wrong, but he was that. But go ahead.
I'm just saying. But anyway, You said, what did you say? I'm just being honest. So anyway, so fine. So we used to talk here and there, outside of church and stuff like that, but nothing really special. It was special, but it was just a conversation. That's really all it was. It wasn't laden with anything. It was no hidden agendas. It was just like, hey, how you doing? Church this, that, the third. Very few things were included in personal life. Just very simple. So all right, fine. So then I sent him the email about, he used to send out devotionals, small group devotionals, either pertaining to the small group or just something that he thought was, was good to share with the group. Fine. So every now and then I would comment on it. So, and other people would as well comment on the devotional, whether it was something long or that pertained to me or whatever have you. So every now and then I would comment on it, but he would respond to those people and would say, I'm telling this.
Man.
Edit. No. He would respond to those people and would be like, that's so great and wonderful. I'm glad it touched your life. Oh, hallelujah. All these
hallelujah. Me saying Yeah, all right, okay.
Hallelujah. All
Okay.
those different things he would say to those people. So I would comment on it, and he would say nothing. It'd be dead silence.
Okay.
So I'm just like, okay. So I said, well, maybe, because, when you're busy throughout the day or whatever, you may miss a few things or whatever have you. So I waited. So the next one that came out, I was the first one to comment. Because usually in every devotional, somebody will comment on it, whether it's a thank you or a testimony or whatever. So this time I decided, let me comment first. I commented first. I got zip. But as soon as somebody else commented, it was, thank you for your story. And it was an immediate response back from him. So I was like, that's how we doing it now? Okay, well, fine. So then I stopped commenting altogether. And I'll read it, because it's from the Lord. So I'm just like, fine. So then he told me one day, he's like, you don't comment on my post. I would like you to comment. I'm like, excuse me, I comment.
Actually, I said, I noticed a drop off in your comments on my devotionals. I was inquiring why. I didn't say you had to.
And I said, because you don't respond to them. That's why you respond to everybody else, but you don't respond to me. So he was like, well, I would like you to comment to me personally. Yes, he wanted personal emails. Yes. So
I said it like that?
Yes. Just with the whole like that. So then I go, and I said, okay, well, maybe that's what it is. So then that's really how we started emailing each other on a personal tip, is because he asked for it, So I'm like, okay, well, let's start emailing. So again, in the beginning, it was just brief emails, I like that devotional or something like that, really basically church-based. And then after a while, with enough time, anything grows. So our conversation grew, and it became surface stuff, worldly stuff, personal stuff. So it became a whole myriad of conversation or topics. And so then I even told him, like in maybe second, third conversation, I'm like, you speak very well. And I know he was like, yeah. But yeah, he speaks very well. And I'm like, you have good conversation, because again, in this day and age, 2015, folks don't talk about anything. They talk about their own personal lives, and that's about it. So yeah. So I wasn't really impressed that he had, as he called it, good diction. And
I did go to private school. By the way.
So the pop is going on, but
wow.
But so that's how our friendship actually grew. It's through emails, and mind you, we exchanged emails for at least 3 months, 6 months, something like that. It was just strictly emails. It was a lot of them.
Say for 6 months to October.
Yeah, 6 months. It was strictly
Go figure.
emails. That's it.
And face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, face-to-face conversation, but there was no phone calls.
No texting.
There was no texting.
No Facebook.
FaceTime. None of that stuff. 6 months.
No Skype.
Strictly email. That's it. And they were long emails, and they'll be frequent, but it was just emails. So.
Well, honey, they didn't get long until after our first conversation.
That is true. Yeah. Then and I saw him outside, and the reason why, because he was working outside in the parking lot. So he's opening doors and so forth. So the reason why I stopped, dropped my son off, came back out. But the reason why I actually stopped, because I was like, you know what? You need to make friends in the new state. So I forced myself to actually talk to him.
Again.
But then, forced, yes.
That's been like 4 months since she met me. 4 months. That small group was over with by the time. For the semester, it was over with in April.
Yes. So I said, let me talk to him. But it was interesting, when you think you don't have anything in common with the other person, with enough conversation, you'll see that y'all have a lot in common. So we talked, and we talked about a whole bunch of different
topics. You, I was already done. I could have left and went home after the first half an hour that I was talking to, because I was done with my shift.
But you didn't want to, though.
She claimed she had so much stuff to do. Fellas, let me tell you something right now. When a woman talks to you more than half an hour, she wouldn't have your babies. I'm going to say it up front right now, straight up. I'm just being real.
You wouldn't have your babies.
I'm just being real with you. She talked to me for 2.5 hours.
I didn't talk about myself. It takes 2 to talk.
No, we've had a wonderful conversation for 2.5 hours. I'm just saying that she had to clean her house, go to the grocery store, do some baking for a charity. She had all this stuff to do. She put that to the side and talked to who? And look where she at right now. That's all I'm saying. It was 2.5 hours she could have been going home.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful conversation.
It was.
And I will say this much before we end this segment. I knew then it was something there when we talked like that. It just kept flowing, and we had to actually make it stop because we could have talked another hour and a half more. If we really wanted to. So that's the pivotal moment where I knew our friendship would take a turn.
I agree.
For the better. I'm like, okay, it's something here. But of course, I did play my poker face like, all right, she all right.
And he did for a very long time. But
not really. So
yeah, he did.
We'll now next we'll get to the whole developing the friendship thing up to the courtship, because that's where it really started taking off. You know.
Yeah, because it was like this. It was like
yeah. It actually went down because of an email that she claimed I sent there, upset her. But we'll get to that in our next segment, though. Don't buy for now. Jeez, I see other people. You gotta be all like that with it, you know.
Whatever.
You know.